In May of 2020, my wife and I purchased our first home, and one thing that we had planned from the start was that one of the rooms was going to be my game room. I went from an 8 by 5 foot den in our old apartment to a 14 by 10 foot dedicated room with 4 walls and a door. Pretty swanky. Last year, I documented the process. I showed my plans, which concluded with a video game tour in June of 2020. And when I laid out the game room, I had plans to return to working in the office, so I focused the room around shooting YouTube videos and playing video games. Now we're approaching 2022 and I have a full-time remote job, and the layout that I had previously really started to make me feel trapped. I spend 8 hours working at my desk, and then after work I would take my dog out, and then I would come back, eat dinner, and watch YouTube or work on videos at that same desk. So I was spending almost all day in the same chair staring at the same monitors. So over the past year, I've been thinking about how I could model my room. It had to have some requirements though. It had to be suitable for work. I work full-time remote, so I need a space for my work laptop and 2 monitors so I can work properly. I had to have a permanent space for shooting YouTube videos, and it had to have a place to sit that wasn't in front of my desk. And in addition to having a place to sit, I needed a dedicated TV so I can watch while I sit. And I wanted a way to be able to change up my collection every so often without moving everything around. So first things first, the room has a window that faces south, so I have a wall facing east and west with the closet and entry door on the north side of the room. Previously, the desk was on the west facing wall with some video games on the opposite end. I now have moved the desk to the southeast corner, and now on the west facing wall is my TVs. Yes, 2 TVs. When you first walk into the room, to your left is some artwork. One thing that I've been trying to do is find some independent artists who make unique gaming inspired art, and this wall has 4 pieces. The 2 11 by 17 pieces are from Pete Ellison, and the small ones are from Sean Dove, and I'll leave a link in the description for all the artwork that you see if you want to check them out for yourself. And on the right, behind the door, is a storage for my tripods and microphones. I used to have them just rusting on the floor, but if you bump them in a way or open the door, they would all come crashing down. So I got a utility closet organizer and put it up. The cool thing is that these slide around, so I can add more if I need to. And the real eye catcher for the room is the TV. I have a 65-inch LG G1 OLED. It's the newest model, and I'm planning on making a video specifically for this, but the reason why that I got this model instead of the cheaper C1 was because of the mounting feature. The G1 is designed from the ground up to be mounted on the wall. There's not even a stand included, and it fits flush to the wall. And because it's flush to the wall, I put a lot of artwork around the TV to make it fit in. The Mario propaganda posters are from Fro Design. The blue shell poster is from woot.com. The Cuphead poster is an official screen print from yt.com. And the pink Chicago poster is from Threadless. Now, I don't know who the artist is, and I have never been able to track this down to show a link for people, but I did buy it directly from Threadless when they hosted BitBash in 2015. The AVGN print is signed by James Rolfe as a backer reward for his movie on Indiegogo. The Mortal Kombat 2 and NBA Jam posters are adverts for the arcade cabinet. Those are official. And this tiny photo is from the set of Postal signed by Uwe Boll. I actually won this on a Facebook contest. Below the TV is something that I recently added and finally prompted me to make this video, and that's this credenza. I wanted to build a custom cabinet, but I quickly realized that I don't have the proper tools to make it a reality. So instead of wasting my money and time on wood, I decided to suck it up and buy something already made. This credenza is probably from the late 70s and early 80s, given the molding around the drawers. I paid $150 at an antique store, and it has 6 drawers, 3 on the right and 3 on the left, and it has a door in the middle which has 3 additional drawers. Each of the 6 drawers houses a specific system of video games. I currently have Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Wii and Wii U, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox 360. The middle drawers currently have some Saturn and SNES games, but I think I'll be putting those somewhere else and instead housing AV cables and controllers for each system. On top of the credenza are the consoles that are currently plugged into the OLED, the PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, the Atari VCS, the soundbar, and the Wii U. And if you're wondering where the wires are for the TV, they're behind the wall. One of the benefits of owning a place is that I can put holes in my walls. So behind the TV is an outlet, and then the HDMI cables are fished behind the wall and then come out behind the credenza, and then all the consoles are plugged in with their own cables from that wall. Moving towards the south window, we have my retro corner. Now, this is one of my last pieces that is still a work in progress. The shelves are floating shelves that I got from Menards and have most, but not all, of my consoles. I have the Nintendo consoles all on one shelf, then Sega split between 2 shelves, and then Sony has its own shelf. And then behind the Nintendo consoles are these patent prints. I got these as a Christmas gift, and then the Nintendo and Sega signs are made by Rose Color Gaming, who unfortunately don't make them anymore. Then below you have my Sony Trinitron. It's a 20-inch TV and it has component and S-video, and it also has a headphone jack in front so I can listen to it without bothering anybody. I did have a larger one a long time ago, but we lived in a tiny apartment at the time, so I just got rid of it. And I really don't think that I'll get anything bigger than this. This is just the right size. To the right of the TV is my Nintendo 64 drawer, and currently on top of it is my Atari Jaguar. But all of this sits on a cabinet. Again, I tried to make something myself and failed miserably, so this will have to do. And I think it's pretty cool. I got it from Goodwill for $6, and it's an old Zenith television set that's been gutted and repurposed as a regular cabinet. It even has the little schematic on the side for tuning instructions. And on the inside it's kind of a mess right now. I wasn't joking when I said that this is still a work in progress. The goal originally was to fit all of my DVDs in here, and along with my Laserdiscs. You can see the Laserdisc player below. However, not all the DVDs would fit down there currently, so instead I have my NES games fit down there. It makes a little bit more sense to put them down there since it's a retro TV set, but I do need a better solution from what I have now, because over time the stress of these games stacked on top of each other will cause some issues, and as you can see, there's some expensive games in there. Above the window is my 4 Star Wars Black Series helmets, and I really like the quality of these helmets. They're only $100 each, so I got Boba Fett, Darth Vader, the OG Trilogy Stormtrooper helmet, and Luke's X-Wing helmet. Below that is my desk, and this is where I work. I work my full-time job. I also write scripts for YouTube and edit my videos here. Also, this is where I shoot my videos. I have a couple of Elgato key lights above my 2 monitors, and my audio digital interface is a Steinberg UR-RT4, which I listen through Audio Technica M40X monitors. On the left is my Sony PVM, and I like that it sits nicely on this desk because I can play some quick retro games during lunch or something like that, but I'm also have the 20-inch to the right, so in my retro corner, and I can only play from my desk right now because you'll see in a moment that if I sit on my chair, I can't really see from that far. Moving more to the left is the wall that I'm really proud of. These are track shelves made by Rubbermaid. They're bolted to the studs, and the main reason for getting them is because they're all adjustable, so I can rearrange them to my liking. The goal is to have each shelf be themed, and I can change it anytime that I feel like. Currently, you have some console boxes up top. I got Dreamcast, Genesis, GameCube, NES, and Nintendo 64, and also the Sega Master System 3D system. And a little bit more to the left is the PlayStation 5 and Link's box, and also a Vectrex, which is sadly broken, but I actually might move that away because it is broken, and if it falls and my chair is right beneath it, it could cause some serious damage. Moving down is some board games and boxes, and I didn't really think this shelf all the way through because there's just not a lot to put here. So the Zelda board game, the Donkey Kong board game, Ouija board, Othello, Death Smiles, and Sigil, along with a couple of other collector's edition boxes is on this shelf. Down below is my Mac G4 Cube, which actually works, and PC games bookended with a Doom helmet from Limited Run, and also a Pentium 2 Bunny along with a Pentium 2 processor. Right next to that is my Lego NES and Virtual Boy in the background, and I have a Mario amiibo and this big Mega Yarn Yoshi. Below that is my knickknack shelf, stuff to make a home office cool. It's not all video games here. Having a hand-drawn picture of my dog is really dope, and some other mementos that I've accumulated through my years. The little TV is an art project I made in the 6th grade. Moving to the left, I got my Commodore 64 with the Astro City mini cabinet, complete with a can of New Coke and some Ecto Cooler from the 2016 Ghostbusters, trying to go for an 80s look. And then I got the C64 Mini on top of the Commodore 64, and then on the wall is a Divoom pixel art panel which can be changed from time to time with my phone. Then more to the left is my lamp, and I just got this from an antique store. It's a Tiffany inspired design, and I think it really fits well with these shelves. I have a hue bulb inside so I can change colors if I want to. Also on this shelf is a Rob and a Fallout Anthology Collection mini nuke, along with a Nuka-Cola Quantum lamp, which is powered via USB. There's not really a theme to this shelf. In the middle is my Polybius cabinet, which I did a video on. Then you have my Zelda shelf, and this is kind of the stuff that I'm going for when I say that I want a themed shelf. I got a Triforce lamp, leather Majora's Mask, some amiibos, and the Master Sword from Breath of the Wild Master Edition, along with some complete in-box Zelda games. Moving up is my Panasonic Q, Super Scope, Power Glove, original Nintendo Serial System box, which I really enjoy, and the Chex Quest Collector's Edition from Limited Run Games, and above that is a plush Battletoads that I got from Fangamer. Then above that is my Game Boy shelf. A complete in-box Game Boy Color from Japan, an OG Game Boy in the box, a Game Boy Advance in the box, Clear Play It Loud, and a couple of homebrew Game Boy games, as well as a complete in-box fanny pack along with a carrying case. I really like the artwork on these boxes, and that's the reason why I've been collecting them. Then in the corner here is still a work in progress. I used to have art above the chair, but now that's on the TV wall, so the space above here now is pretty bare. Right now I just have that Hyrule map, my signed picture of Johnny Cage, and a retro Nintendo calendar. I'm not sure what I want to do with this space just yet. My wife suggested to get some more artwork, but I kind of want more rail shelves, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. To the left of the chair is a toy shelf, and I built this myself out of oak, so I'm not completely worthless when it comes to woodworking. I wanted to display my non-gaming stuff on its own space, and I used to have some of this stuff on my desk at work, but since I work from home, now I have an own dedicated shelf. And I have some random figures up top, and then some model cars, and then the NECA turtle figurines, which include Turtles in Time, one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. Then on the bottom two shelves are my Star Wars toys that's left over of what I decided to keep because I donated the majority of them to a friend. The chair is a replica of the iconic Eames chair, and I've done a video on that as well, and I've had it for over a year now, and it's really comfortable. I've actually got it broken in the way that I like it, and I have the TV on the other wall at the height of my eye line when I'm looking from this chair. So while the TV is kind of in the corner, I still have a really good view of the TV. And sitting in this chair and watching TV really helps break up my work mode to relax mode. And work-life balance is so important to me, and while I'm not expected to work after hours, it was really hard for me to end the workday and start my leisure time. The only drawback is, that I mentioned earlier, is that the retro TV is too far away from the Eames chair for me to be able to comfortably play it from so far away. So right now I just sit at my computer desk and play it if I want to. But I could always move the chair closer to the TV if I want. And then moving over to the closet, well, I'm not going to show you what's in the closet. It's not organized at all, but it does store the rest of my collection. And while some of you might think that's a sin and you have to display it all, it is deliberate. One thing that I've disliked about my video game collection is that there's only so many ways that you can display it, and it's mainly due to the wall of games. There's only so many ways to display games that maximizes the space that you have, and for as big as this room is compared to my old room, it still has its limitations, so I wanted to maximize the space. Maybe down the line, I could have my entire collection on display. But previously, I had an entire corner dedicated to displaying just my video games, and it was getting kind of boring. Also, as these games get more expensive, I'm particularly concerned about direct sunlight, so I don't really want to have these games out on the floor all the time. So that's why I put the games into the credenza, and before the credenza I had all of the games in the closet, and since the closet is currently packed, I would have to unload the entire closet onto the floor to get to my games. Now I don't have that problem, but with that being said, my room still isn't finished yet. But then again, what game room is ever finished? The future plans aren't as dramatic. I just want a couple of more tweaks. I do want to take the credenza and modernize it a bit. Taking the molding off and making it look a bit cleaner would probably make the room feel a little bit more modern, but I kinda like the retro feel. The retro corner stand does need some drawers in it or something. I'm not sure if I want to keep this stand or eventually commission new furniture to be made to custom fit and have a more cohesive look. Like I mentioned earlier, I tried to make this stuff and realized that I didn't have the technical know-how or the proper tools to fix it up, but one of my neighbors said that he would help me build out some stuff. Also, I don't have an enclosed space to do the work, so I only have 3 to 4 months out of the year to work outside. Also, I want to build a custom desk. Right now I have an IKEA adjustable desk and it works really well, and it was a perfect fit when I was at the old apartment, but now it just feels out of place. And it does currently do its job, but I would like to build a desk that fits a bit more into the room, having a tapered edge closer to the window and then having it wrap around to where the IKEA Kallax unit is. And then maybe below that, make some drawers to replace my Alex units that you've seen around the room, but I didn't really mention because those are just temporary. I also want to put some charging USB ports in the desk to charge my devices easily and then just have an easy way to store stuff away. But for now, the game room is much closer to my vision than it was a year ago, and I'm really happy with the progress so far. Being able to just sit in a chair and watch TV or play video games without having to be at a desk has been a game changer for my work-life balance, especially when we're heading into winter where it gets dark earlier in the day and it's cold, and once it starts to snow, the parks actually close around here, so I can't get out as much as I want to in the summer. And this room is really cozy and I like that. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or what your thoughts are on this video game. Do you think that I'm making a mistake by leaving my games in a drawer, or am I right on this one? Leave a like if you like this video, and if you're new here and like retro video games, consider subscribing for future content. I mostly talk about price trends in video games, but I'm planning on sprinkling more of these videos in the future where I'm talking about retro video games or some essay type videos. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at snicktendo. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Super Nicktendo, and I'll see you next time.